Hi, this is Grandma Lori. Today's story is Frederick Frog, Attorney at Law. Who's that? Benny asked his mom as they went past a billboard. That's Frederick Frog, Mom answered. What's an attorney? Benny was full of questions that day. It's someone who helps people get justice, most of the time, Mom said. Benny wasn't sure what that meant, but he knew Frederick Frog sounded like a superhero. He asked, Doesn't that make him a superhero? To those he helps, Mom said, I guess it does. Mom didn't tell Benny they were on their way to see Frederick Frog. As they entered the office, Benny knew exactly where they were. We're going to meet Frederick Frog? Benny was excited. He clapped his hands. Sit quietly, sweetheart, Mom said. You shouldn't be flitting about so much. Mr. Frog will see you now, said the lady at the front desk. She showed them into Mr. Frog's office. As they entered the office, Frederick Frog stood. It's very nice to meet you, Mrs. Flutterby, he said. Thank you for seeing us on such short notice, Mom said. This must be Benny. How are you, son? Mr. Frog's voice was so soothing. I'm okay. My legs hurt, though. Tell me what happened, Mrs. Flutterby, Frederick said as he motioned for them to sit. Benny was playing with friends when he got hit by a rock thrown by a human, said Mom. We're not sure how long he's going to need his wheelchair, but for now he can't even fly without it hurting. Mr. Frog, do you think you can help? Mom was hopeful. Let me see. Humans are not likely to pay attention to how they hurt us, but we can always try, Frederick said. Mom flew up to the desk. Please, Mr. Frog, I don't want to see my Benny's life damaged because of this one unkind act. I'll take the case, Frederick said as he stood. You have my promise to do my very best to help. A few weeks later, Mrs. Flutterby and Benny found themselves back in Frederick Frog's office. Thank you, Mr. Frog, said Mom, flitting about. You have no idea what you've done for Benny. It's my pleasure, Frederick said, looking over at Benny, standing on his new souped-up butterfly walker. I'm sure he'll be floating around in no time, he said. Mom was curious. But how did you do it? She asked. I just jumped into the human's bed and refused to leave. He was pretty upset, so he agreed to help build a new walker for Benny to use until he could fly again, Frederick said, smiling. No one likes to find a frog in their bed. Thank you, Mr. Frog, said Benny. You really are a superhero. I want to be just like you when I grow up. Frederick laughed. Just be the best, kindest person you can be. What you do for a living doesn't matter as long as you do that. This has been Grandma Lori. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the story.